Welcome to another Pickups, everyone. Excited to let you guys know some of the current releases I picked up. I think you guys will really like the list of games I have here. Some pretty unique games and a lot of games that probably you didn't know got a physical release. Let's get right into it. Ninja Gaiden 4, this is probably what I'm playing the most right now. Being it's probably around a 10-hour game full of intense action. I feel like I'm going to go through it pretty fast. But man, playing it on normal mode, it is difficult, not too crazy. But I wish they would have had the Master Ninja level unlocked, difficulty unlocked. I think that would have been fair for like a lot of like hardcore players. But you got to unlock that difficulty, which I guess is fine. But so far, I'm really liking it. I'm really looking forward to playing with Ryu. I feel like I'm halfway through the game, but I still haven't been able to play as Ryu yet. So I feel like this game is 100% a passing of the torch type game, because I guess Ryu's story is kind of like, in part 3, it kind of hit it what the highest it could go, and I guess I understand that. But I'm just glad he's in the game as like kind of like a mentor, I guess, in a way. But crazy action, just like, man, the bosses are insane. All the regular enemies are tough, so it just keeps you on your toes. But once you unlock, well, of course, my favorite move, the Swallow Slash, things start to get easier, and that's pretty much early in the game when you can unlock that move. But think about it again, the real move that I love pulling off in this game is the Azuna Drop. I mean, man, when you pull that move off, it's like, it's just, everything is so much better. Like, you pull it off like 3 times in a row, it's like, oh my god, like that move is so insane, and just, it never gets old. But definitely, guys, Ninja Gaiden 4 is a must-have. They worked very hard on this game, and I appreciate what they did on it. I had a feeling they were working on it quite a few years ago when they were making the trilogy, but I wasn't really sure. But yeah, they started work on this when that trilogy came out for PS4 and the Switch. So glad this is here. Definitely give this game a go. Here is ABSOLUM for the PS5, also available for Switch when that copy gets here. But this is a roguelike beat 'em up, and I'm happy to say that this is co-op online. Yes, a beat 'em up with co-op online. Not a lot of them out there, but just really important that they add that type of feature in this game. Now, I actually found out about this game because there was a channel called Under the Mayo, which was playing it with his buddy, and they were really going through it. I mean, they were going through this game like Guardian Hero style. It was insane. I think they played like damn near like over 4 hours just going through the game, doing crazy combos and moves. And as soon as I saw that, I knew this was a must-have. You definitely got to support developers who make games like these, because they put their heart and soul into this game with the voice acting, the art style, the combinations, the story. I mean, everything is so well done in this game. So I would implore people to pick up a copy of this game. I'm having an amazing time with it, and I think you will too. Here's by Sweet Carole. This is a game by the creator of the Remastered series, Chris Darilla, I think that's his name. But this is his next project after he finished the Remastered series. The gameplay feels like a side-scrolling like clock tower game, but instead of like point and click, you're in charge of the character. Like, you control what she does. Now you can change it to like animals like rabbits to hide from your enemies or get to certain areas, figure out puzzles and things like that. You do deal with a lot of stalker enemies in this game, and from what I played, you can't really fight back, which, you know, it bumps up the horror element of the game. Even though it's hard to say this is horror, it's just more like has like creepy moments to it. It looks like a Don Bluth film, so, you know, I love the way the animation looks in this game, if you could call it animation, the way they do this type of style. But this game is already like a success, and they're already working on a sequel for it from what I read. But definitely something, if you like survival horror, even though I don't consider this survival horror, I think this is an interesting game to try out. Now, as far as the story, I can't give you guys too much, but I can give you just enough to where it won't spoil things for you. But you play as an orphan woman named Linda Benton. The game takes place in the 1900s, and she's searching for her missing friend Carol. And that's all I can really give you. But hopefully you guys, from seeing the footage here, just the aesthetics of the game itself, probably want to make you, hopefully it'll make you want to check it out. But yeah, by Sweet Carole, out now for Switch and PS5. So here's BattleMania, also known in America as Troubleshooter. Now, this game is pretty unknown, but it's very expensive for the American version. But happy to see here that Project Retro put their own version together, and I think the color of the cart fits the art style of the game. Now, this is a horizontal shooter that I think a lot of people don't really know about. I don't think it was very popular back when it came out, or it didn't really sell that well, or to the point that they didn't want to bring the sequel out. But you play as best friends Madison and Crystal. Crystal is usually like the backup character, like she covers down for Madison, so she could kind of flip around. Now, at the beginning of the stage, you get select like special weapons that you could play out through the level. But the only caveat with these weapons are that they have to recharge after some use, so you have to kind of like, it doesn't let you overuse them. But other than that, the game is awesome, and definitely people should play this and the sequel. The sequel is like top notch, so I actually played the sequel before this one. The original version of this game is very expensive, so you might want to get Project Retro's version before they sell out. Here's Clock Tower Rewind. Now, yes, I already own this game, but this was a PAX exclusive, and I really love the Clock Tower series, so I had to show my support. With this purchase, I think I have most of the Clock Tower games in the series, and plus like extras and all that stuff. But in this game, you play as Alyssa and her friends who are trying to survive an event where they're being stalked by a killer, and it could get pretty brutal. This is the type of survival horror game where it plays like a point and click, but it's like it's mostly like hide and seek. You can't really fight back. You fight back in certain situations, but mostly, you know, you benefit by running and escaping from your enemy. The game has multiple endings, and you want to obviously get the best ending your first time playing if you can, but not sure if you'll be able to do that unless you pay attention to the clues. But I can say, if you do like survival horror, you'll have a good time playing this game, or a suspenseful time playing this game. BattleToads and Double Dragons for the Game Boy collectors or limited edition from Retrobit. Now, this game came out obviously years ago, but it was the more obscure game to get out of the series because, as we know, the Game Boy version of this probably did not sell well at the time. But I'm glad that Retrobit wanted to put it together, and I finally have this game, so now I have all of them. You play as the Ultimate Team, which are the Double Dragons and the BattleToads. I never picked the BattleToads, I always picked the Double Dragons, but this is definitely an easier game from the regular BattleToads game. Like, it really knows what it wants to be. It's the majority of beat 'em up and a little bit of shoot 'em up, and not all over the place like the original BattleToads game was. Because, dude, some people say the original BattleToads game is great, but I'm like, dude, this game is all over the place. It's not great, but it's definitely hard, but not great. But happy to have this in the collection. I think it is a decent port of the series, so not saying that people have to run out and get it, but it's cool. Tomb Raider 4, 5, and 6 Remastered, with 6 being Angel of Darkness. Now, Tomb Raider Last Revelation, the 4th game, I thought was a pretty good game. I think the highest game in the original series was probably 3. I think that was one of his highest points. My favorite being 2. But this collection having 4 in it, I think it's a good game. Chronicles Part 5 is still forgettable. It's just like leftover ideas, so I didn't really like enjoy what I played of that one. I don't know if I'll ever finish it. But Tomb Raider 6, Angel of Darkness, I did finish back in the day, and oddly enough, I enjoyed the game back then, but I think I was just really excited just to play the game at the time. But I want to see what the differences are in this version of the game compared to the original, like what did they fix or what they couldn't fix. I don't know if I'll play it again because I still have my original saves of the original version. But I don't know. I just thought it's good to have this version because you can switch between like certain graphics in 4 and 5. So I like that, having that access. But yeah, as far as playing like Angel of Darkness again, I just don't know. I feel like that game just left a lot of things open. I actually like Curtis Trent. I thought he was a cool character, and I was hoping to see him in future games. But yeah, that's never going to happen. I'm on a snowboarding kick, so decided to get Cool Borders Part 2, which I had never played outside of the demo disc back in the day. Playing it now, I feel like I missed out on something. You know, I'm glad I'm playing it now, but I would have really enjoyed this back in the day if I had gave it a chance. Now, I'm looking for more games in the series. And in saying that, at the same store, I picked up Cool Borders Part 4. I'm going to get all of them. I'm going to decide which one is the best one. I hear a lot of people say 3 is probably the best in the series, but I could be totally wrong about that. But I want to give them all a chance because they're making this many sequels. Obviously, they were selling well. They did have Cool Borders 1 at the store, but they were trying to charge $20 for it. I was like, no way. But I'll get it eventually on the cheap. But yeah, happy to finally get into this series, and hopefully I'll find a lot of enjoyment in it. Here's Berserk for the PS2. Now, glad to say this game finally got an English translation so a lot more people could play it. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I'm not sure if this game is its own independent story, but not really sure a lot of people will care about that. They'll just want to kind of get into the action because the game is pretty insane. But playing this has made me want to go back and watch the anime movies and even the series that they came out with that I watched a couple years ago. That series was great, but it stopped on a cliffhanger, unfortunately, so I don't know when they're going to make a follow-up to it, but it makes me want to go watch it again. I really hope they finish this series because it seems so well done. And I'm sorry just to talk about the anime, but I just can't help it. You know, the game is great, but man, I want them to finish the series eventually because the cliffhanger between Guts and Griffith, oh man, it's just like, it's criminally insane that we haven't got a follow-up yet. But at least someone was kind enough to translate the PS2 game for us. Magical Doropie Kids. Now, this game actually came out to America as the Creon Conquest, but that version of the game was kind of like they cut out content. And I was at my local game store and I saw this reproduction they had there. So this has uncut content and the game is also still in English. Now, from the footage you're seeing here, you're probably thinking of a Mega Man game. And yeah, you could definitely compare it to Mega Man, but it is much more difficult from what I played than the Mega Man game. Seriously, you start out with all your weapons, but you gotta like utilize them for certain events. I just had a hard time playing this game, but I still was enjoying it. I just gotta find a good rhythm with it. But from what I know, basically what was cut from the original version was like, I think cutscenes, stuff like that, like story elements. Not sure about gameplay as of yet. Don't think any gameplay was cut from it, but just mostly story stuff they thought that people wouldn't like. But back then, I feel like story was like the reward for, you know, playing a hard game like this. But I guess they didn't care. Here's the Fast and the Furious Arcade Edition, published by Gaming Mill. Gaming Mill, when they publish arcade games, I think they do a great job. I'll just put that out there. But this is made by the same creators that made the cruising game on the Switch. So this is like a sequel to that. Definitely something that probably would go under a lot of people's radar as a release. Just want to let you guys know it's available on the PS5 as well. I'm actually waiting for the PS5 version of the game because that's the main one I want to play it on. But the Switch version is no slouch. I think it plays pretty well on the Switch. I'm not sure how it plays on the Switch 2. I'm interested in seeing how it runs on that. But definitely worth a purchase on the Switch, I would say. Tormented Souls Part 2 is finally here, and I wish this game would have come out a year ago because right now I'm playing some other games, so I can't get into it too far right now before I pass those other games. But I did play a demo that you guys saw, and I was really enjoying myself with the story on that. As you know, this is pretty much going back to traditional old-school survival horror games, but the gimmick in this game is you have to stay out of the darkness. If a room is not lit, you better get into a room that's lit immediately because if you stay in that room too long, you're dead. Like any shadows, stay out of the shadows. Have your lighter handy, ready to go. But it's been a while since I beat the first game, so I might have to go back and play it again. Oh, no, you know what? I could probably look at some kind of deep dive on YouTube to get familiar with the story of the first one again. I just want to put the pieces together before I get into the second game too far, so I make sure I don't miss any details. But I definitely had a great time with the first game. The only my caveat with these games is that, you know, I just don't want any puzzles. I want to go straight forward. But the puzzles are well done, and they do break up the action. I guess I just don't have the patience for them anymore. Like, it's just like breaking the action. I'm like, no, I want all of it to keep going. But definitely, I can vouch for the first game, and I think this one is looking pretty good too. But just want to let you guys know it is out now as physical on the PS5. Not sure if it'll get a physical on anything else, but yeah, definitely try the game out.
My name is Caroline Walker. I came to this town to find help for my little sister, Anna. She does this thing where she draws terrifying images and somehow they become real. But it was all a trap, and now they've taken Anna.
Caroline, are you there? They have me locked up in this horrible place. Please, help me.
What happened here?
This damn place can bring out the darkness in our hearts. You have no idea how powerful it is.
Here's Savage Rain. Now, at the time, you know, when I played this game, I always figured like this is how the first two art of fighting games should have played. Like, but playing the game now, you know, it's very gimmicky. It is fun. I like the big sprites and everything like that, and the characters and the backgrounds look beautiful. I mean, there's no denying that. But I don't know, like, as taking it as a serious game, it's just really unbalanced and all over the place. But it's still very fun. But I'm not sure how a lot of like people that are hardcore into fighting games will feel about this one today. But as usual, it looks great for a SNK game. You know, the sprite work and the backgrounds, they just never let down on that stuff. But it's hard to like kind of recommend this game because I just don't know how people it'll fit some people. It's kind of tough and just all over the place and like not very well balanced in my opinion. But still, I think people will have fun with it if they know how to play it. Here's the shooting Gatchaman. Now, I think these are the same characters as the Tosonoku characters from Capcom vs. Tosonoku, I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyways, this is a vertical shoot 'em up that I think was like a low budget one at the time it came out in Japan. I've always seen it, but I never pulled the trigger on it. But now that I have this nice long box version of the game, you know, the game actually looks pretty good. You know, it's kind of like slow scrolling, but that's okay for this type of shooter. You still got to pay attention to what's going on the screen at all times because you will get overwhelmed in an instant. But definitely something cool that I think got overlooked back in the day. MTV Pure Ride for the Game Boy Color. I was actually looking for the PS1 version of this game, and I couldn't find it at the store I was at, so I saw this. Let me go ahead and get the alternative. It's actually pretty cool. Very, as you can see, simplistic, so you would have to be really bored to probably play this version of the game. But I still think it was worth $5. Tales of Rebirth translation. Finally, this game has been translated in English. This is a dream come true because I did not understand why this game didn't get released on the PS2 back in the day. We got Tales of Legendia, we got Tales of the Abyss, but this one was the only one missing. And by looking at the art style, I understand why. Sony just did not like 2D based games. At least that's what I think happened. If you guys know the reason why this game wasn't officially released in America, let me know. But either way, I'm happy it's here. I finally get to enjoy this game. I think it's going to be a great experience. I'm not quite ready for it as of right now as I'm playing. I'm finishing the Trails from the Skies part 1 right now. But yeah, when I get into this one, man, I think it's going to be a great experience. I hear a lot of good things about this game. They ported Golden Axe to the Neo Geo CD. I wasn't actually expecting this one, but I love the CD quality sound the game has. From what I've noticed, it plays just exactly like the arcade version of the game. So if you like the arcade version over the Genesis, I think this game might be something you might want to grab. But I hear a lot of people say the Genesis version is superior. I gotta go back and look at that. But either way, Golden Axe on the Neo Geo CD for you Neo Geo CD collectors out there. Definitely pick this up if you want a new physical to add to your collection. Castlevania Symphony of the Night for the Sega Saturn. Now, I've talked about this before, but Project Retro made their own version of the game, as you can see here. And if you haven't played the Japanese version of the game, it actually includes like 2 new areas to explore. You can play as Maria from the beginning, and as well as Richter, which is pretty cool. But what intrigued me about this is the newer areas. I like to explore in these type of games, so adding the new areas I thought were pretty cool. I don't know if they'll really appeal to most people, but definitely I think they were a cool add-on. Still to this day, I think people will choose the original version, the PlayStation version, over this one, even with the enhancement this one have. But yeah, if you're a Castlevania fanatic, this might be something you might want to check out. Here's Vigil, The Longest Night. So this game has been out for quite a few years now, but finally got a physical from Super Rare Games. It's kind of like a 2D side-scrolling game, RPG, with kind of like horror elements, like with psychological horror elements. It's very similar to like Salt and Sanctuary. That's the perfect game to kind of like compare it to. But I think this one is a lot better from what I played of it. But haven't got into too much of it yet, because just got to briefly get into it, because like I said, I'm playing like Ninja Gaiden right now. But yeah, looking forward to trying this one out in the future, and you guys let me know if you think it's a cool game. Alright guys, so another pickups video complete. I didn't think I was going to get this one out before this weekend. As of right now, it's October 26th. But wanted to get it out because I got a bunch of other videos I'm working on. Anyways guys, the Radical One, and I will see you all later.